Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning, LaLa. On Transformation Tuesday, we have been transformed through yoga and all of the internal work. Cristi Christensen is here in the house. She is an international yogini, and you're a dancer, entrepreneur. You're also the founder of Deep Exhale and a yoga school.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about your yoga school.
Well, I travel internationally to offer yoga all around the world. It kind of happened this very spontaneous way of saying yes to. And I met this wonderful woman in Indonesia. And in Indonesia, not many people outside of Bali are going to offer yoga to the local people.
Interesting.
So I had this great relationship, and she's like, would you ever consider starting a yoga school here so that we could up-level the teaching that's happening in the local communities, not just people taking groups of people to Bali on beautiful retreats, but actually teaching to the Indonesian people.
And so where is it again? What part
It's based in Bandung and Jakarta, Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
And we have since now brought the training to Malaysia and to China as well.
Oh, cool.
So it's really, really interesting.
How did yoga transform your personal life? What was your journey to discovering this modality?
Yes. So I was an athlete my whole life. I was training for the Olympics in 2 different sports, and I broke my back when I was.
Hold on. You were training for the Olympics in that one, but 2 different sports.
What sports?
Yes, gymnastics and platform diving.
Wow.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, from a very young age. I mean, I was very driven, very body oriented, and saw Mary Lou Retton win the gold medal when I was like this big. I was like, that's what I want to do.
It's about very technical sports.
Yes. But I like there was nothing, like I wanted to quit school. I moved away from home actually to end, like I was such a pain in the ass to my parents. Like, it's like I wanted to train with the best coaches, and I wanted to have the opportunity to actually make my dreams come true. And they were like, no way, we're not sending you away. And I was very persistent. And after a while, they're like, okay, go. So I did everything that I could, but I broke my back the first time when I was 14 and again when I was 24. And I was training for the 2004 Olympics for diving. Yeah.
Wow. That must have been traumatic.
It was traumatic. And I am not someone who had ever dealt with anxiety. I hadn't dealt with depression. I hadn't dealt with any of those things. And for the first time in my life, I was like, I don't know what so from 7 years old till then, my only direction was this. Everything I did, from what I ate to how I slept to everything, was to feed that purpose of me going to the Olympics. And then when that dream was taken away, I was like, I had no idea who I was. I didn't know what the purpose of life was because that was my only direction.
Identity.
Yeah.
Back to that damn identity.
So everyone knew me as the diver.
So how did you heal? Where did you go from there? You're here, you're no longer in the sport. You've been taken out, broken back. Now what?
No. It was a process for sure. Obviously the physical recovery was one process, and the mental recovery of watching my other friends who I was training with also then go on to make the team. And someone took me actually to my first yoga class about a year after the second injury, and I knew nothing of the practice. Like when I said I knew nothing of the practice, like I think Jennifer Aniston was doing yoga and Madonna was doing yoga. And I was like, oh, Madonna, they're cool. But I didn't even have the notion of what a spiritual practice would be or that yoga was spiritual. I thought it was exercise. I really thought it was exercise. And at that time, if someone told me it was more than that, I probably would have been like, that's weird. I grew up Catholic, and that's the only thing I knew. I didn't know the difference between religion and spirituality. So I went to the class, and the teacher, there was no music, and she didn't explain much of what we did, but we were doing this oming thing, and I was like, okay, that's weird. But because of my physical agility and strength and whatnot, even with the injury, I was good at it. I didn't love it, actually, after the first class, but the one thing I really took away from it was the attention of the breath. I'd never in my entire life had been guided through something breath by breath by breath. And I just thought it was fascinating. That was the only thing. I was like, oh, wow, like, because when we're training, you're not thinking, inhale, reach your arms up, exhale, flip really fast, kick out into the water, take a breath.
I wonder how it would have changed somebody's performance if they would have incorporated breathing.
I think about it all the time. If I had this training then, like in terms of, especially for the competition, especially in managing the nerves and the anxiousness.
We might see a future calling here going on.
We'll see, right? And then I just started doing it but I then moved back to New York City, and I was working for this company in health and wellness, and they were having this famous yoga teacher, and I didn't even know yoga teachers could be famous at that time. And her name was Shiva Ray. She's actually based in Los Angeles, and they were presenting her as the Madonna of yoga. So now I was even more fascinated. 'cause-
Anything with Madonna counts.
Yeah, exactly. You just said
Favorite
Madonna,
language.
that's it.
Well, and I still had never taken even a yoga class with music. It had been very traditional, and it wasn't explained to me before that. But now I know it was. I was learning the Ashtanga series, but she never said that, so I didn't know. But all these people were freaking out that she was coming, so I was like, okay, well, I gotta go to this person's class, and so I show up, and her name was Shiva, so I'm expecting this like Indian,
Right.
you know, I don't know, guru-ish character in that form, and you know, she's blonde and from Southern California,
Yeah.
and you know, they're playing like rocking music, and I was like, what is this?
Right.
And I was a dancer also, so immediately I was just like entranced, and that was really the first experience of like being in touch with that energetic pulsation that's running my body and connection to something.
I read that your mission is to set souls on fire.
Yes.
Chrissy, how are you doing that?
What I'm trying to help people do is to get in touch with the energy that they behold, because we all have it. But because of different traumas, abuses, life experience, negativity, everything that's ever happened, we get locked down in different places within ourselves. And it keeps us from our ground, it keeps us from our feelings, it keeps us from our power, it keeps us from our heart, it keeps us from our intuition and everything else. So through the usage, the body is the vessel, right? Even though it's not, it's the gateway in, right? It's not the most important we can say, but it is the gateway in. So by getting people into their bodies, getting them comfortable in their bodies, get their bodies breathing, get their bodies moving, we can start to unlock and dislodge and move through these limitations that have kept us stuck in this stagnation to free up what's really inside, to be able to see beyond the illusion and to be able to follow our own inner guidance.
I think this is interesting because I think there's different types of. We're all spiritual, let's face it. It's all from spirit. But there's someone, I feel like there's people that are spiritual that have just removed themselves completely from here.
Yeah.
They're observing and they're not actually in the body almost. And it's cool, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, I believe the same. I believe we're here to just really embody the body, embody the material world, and do it all. And that's just a genre, if you will, of spirituality.
Absolutely.
But I think yoga is such a profound way. So do you bring in music? Do you like, how do you,
Yes.
what's your jam?
So my whole thing is like, we want to turn in the direction of life and coming fully alive. So for me to remove myself from life, that doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I've done is I call upon everything that I mean, I was an athlete, I was a dancer, I love music, so I bring everything together. So one of the things I'm kind of known for is this fusion of working with incredible musicians and incredible DJs. And
Oh, I love that.
yeah, it's really, really fun.
And you have great hair, so I don't know.
Thank
I'm
you.
coming to class just to figure out how to manifest it.
Yes, if you do get it with me, your hair will turn into mine as well.
Wow. So please tell everyone where they can find and follow you and come work with you.
Yes, please. My Instagram is Cristi Christensen, and my website as well. And I'm based in LA, but I'm leaving tomorrow for 8 weeks to teach all over the world. But you can come join me anywhere and everywhere, and I hope you do.
Your
Thank you
namesake.
so much, Christy.
Christ consciousness, the
I know,
cosmic
right?
consciousness.
Right.
Amazing. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Thank you so much. Such
Stay
a
tuned. We'll be
pleasure.
right back.